If everyone can see my t-shirt clearly, I think we can start. Like, look. The other day I shared this on Instagram and 500 people liked my story. Hello friends! Today we're going to talk about summer plans once again, as we do it every summer. So hopefully this video can give you some inspiration to make summer plans regarding languages and also some sort of live update for my followers, because before my Spanish exam I probably didn't upload anything on YouTube for a month because I was like super anxious, and since I'm alone quite a whole time here in Milan, I was like always alone with my anxiety and I had to study Spanish the whole time. And then right now the exam is over, so I'm back here. Today we will go through all of my languages and I will explain quite clearly what I'm planning to do in each one of them. As I said, I'm already done with my Spanish exam, and in a week, like literally in a week, I have my French C2 exam. The thing is, I'm not super anxious because I feel like you can't do anything about it. You either know a language at C2 level or you don't. It doesn't have a lot to do with preparation, I guess. We will talk about this later in the video, but so right now Spanish and French are not my priorities. So during the summer, the language that I'm going to focus on the most will be Russian. On the last day of summer, on 21st of August, I will have my Russian C1 exam. I know Russians who are watching this video are like, молодец, ты какая милая девушка, я знаю, что у тебя все получится, ты очень умничка. Yeah, like, oh my gosh, she speaks Russian perfectly and everything, but I'm not sure if I could pass a C1 Russian exam like next week. Probably no. When I told a friend of mine that I was going to take a Russian exam, she was like, oh, you're going to take C2, right? Why are you counting on me that much? Literally. Because honestly, I think like you can pass a C1 exam in any language with some preparation, but C2, no. C2 is a matter of familiarity and nothing else. And also considering the very apparent fact that my Russian is not even 4 years old and won't even be 4 years old while I'm taking the C1 exam. C2 is like, you should have spent a few years before that. Here the worst thing is we don't have a lot of resources for this exam. Actually, I found out thanks to an Italian follower that my university does the Russian exams here in Milan, but I'm going to take it in Ankara, the capital of Turkey. Just go and look up for it, okay? I got this book and this has like 2 examples inside and another example you can find on the official website, and that's like all the things you have for the language. Also, there are some YouTube videos, mostly some live streams, teachers just explaining to students how to just pass this exam and everything. But looking at the structure of this exam, it's nothing scary except writing, because writing is like the worst part that I've ever seen in any language, because in just a little bit more than 1 hour you have to write 3 texts, and you also have to read 3 texts as a reference, and I'm like, who do you think I am? It has been 5 minutes since I started recording and the light changed so drastically, and that's so concerning. So you'll see this one a lot in my vlogs this summer. But of course, as you can understand, probably Russian will not be the only language that I'm going to study during the summer, because in autumn I'll have my German C1 exam as well. I always find Russian and German super compatible, so studying them simultaneously wouldn't probably ruin a lot of things for me, just as my French and Spanish exam just having 3 weeks in between, because the languages have the same structure. So this summer I'm also going to study C1 German, even though my German is like way better than my Russian. I know it doesn't seem like that because my Russian is like super fluent and it sounds super natural, but my German is like, yeah, it's apparent that I'm kind of struggling with it. The thing is, as you know, I've been taking C1 classes for a really long time and I just stopped taking them a month before my Spanish exam. Since I like German more than Spanish, I was more interested in taking C1 classes and improving my German when I actually didn't need it urgently. I had to study Spanish, but I was spending all of my time on German, so I stopped taking German classes, which I'm going back to next week after my French exam. So actually I'll be spending most of the summer having a solid routine of German studying and continuing my C1 classes. I actually completed like the half of the C1 course and I'm just going to continue the other half and continue revising the things. If you like to join me while learning German this summer, I'd like to mention to you Lingoda's summer sprint campaign, because as you know, I've been taking my German C1 classes from Lingoda. And the thing is, this summer they have a new sprint campaign. The sprint challenge lasts 2 months, so in the summer you can just complete it. There are 2 types of sprint. In the first one you are taking German classes every day, and in the other one you're taking it every other day. You can just choose which one is better for you. And while I was following a sprint challenge, I realized that my German was literally the best it has ever been, and I'm quite excited decided to go back to my sprint after my French exam, because especially if you're studying C1, there are a lot of structured materials out there and you need something more complete because C1 has a lot of topics to go through. Then we are going to talk about environment, digitalisierung, philosophy, politics, history, about everything. There are a bunch of lessons. There are like more than 200 lessons just for C1 level. And I can just freely choose when I want to take these classes. Like sometimes I just took them early in the morning so that it will help me to wake up earlier. Sometimes I took them after university, sometimes right before sleeping. And it actually helped me to speak German regularly and know a lot of specific vocabulary about many topics that are likely to come up in a German exam that I was possibly going to take in the future. And if you complete Sprint Challenge accurately, if you join all of your classes, you will get either half of your money back or new class credits to help you even more with your language learning. You can also sign up for a sprint during the month of June. Last day is 1st of July. The important thing here is you sign up with my link because it's an exclusive discount for my followers. So at the end of the challenge, you will have the chance to save up to 515 euros. So you can check the description of this video, claim your discount and boost your German skills during the summer. But I have a question here to anyone who is kind of experienced in this. I'm not really sure which type of German exam I should take, but I'll probably be taking Goethe. I don't know, like the other exams always seem like they have a specific purpose. I just want to prove that I speak German. But I also want this exam to help me in the future in case I decide to work or study in German. After some research, I think that Goethe can help me with all of these aspects, but if I should know something, please write in the comments or on Instagram. After having talked about my current priorities, I want to go back to Spanish and talk about my plans with Spanish because I don't want to be a type of person who hopefully passes an exam and then be like, okay, I'm done with this language. Why would I want to lose my progress? I just feel like C1 is like the most useful language certificate that you can get in any language in the world because let's be honest, no one is going to ask you for a C2 certificate unless you're doing something really specific in that language. I'm just taking the French C2 just because I like it. I already have the C1. So this summer my plan is mostly to watch Spanish shows and to read Spanish books, but not like literature, because I realize that those books don't really help you as a learner. But for example, reading something more political in Spanish, something even philosophical, something historical in Spanish, a specific concept but in Spanish. The thing with my Spanish is like, since I'm studying politics, I probably want to use it in this ámbito, like filed, probably. Yeah, in this file. I would like to use Spanish in this file, so I'll probably watching documentaries and reading related books. So as I said, my only purpose is not to lose my current Spanish because I spent effort and time and a lot of mental health to reach to this point. And as soon as I get my exam results, if I get a positive or a negative result, I don't care. I'll be doing a video talking about the C1 exam and how we can prepare for this exam. Right now, the only thing that we need is to expect that I pass the exam. Actually, I'm quite sure that I passed my Spanish C1 exam. The only thing is, I'm not quite sure of writing. Like, I don't think that I'm going to fail the entire thing just because of writing. I wrote 2 decent texts, but I don't know what they will think about them. I think I still passed it, but if I failed it, that's not the end of the world. And right now, when it comes to French, are you still going to learn French, or what are you going to do to keep your French at this level, or are you planning to improve it even more? But the thing is, like, I know C2 is something so extra, and when you have it, it probably provides you with a lot of advantages. So maybe this summer, just to gain some personal experience, I would like to teach some French. Because I never seriously thought about teaching languages except Turkish. I have a lot of experience teaching Turkish to Russian people, but I see a lot of people teaching languages without necessarily having a C1 or C2 in those, just because they like the language. And I think, yeah, that can be acceptable, that's not a crime. And so just to work on my teaching skills a little bit, because I find this important, I will probably try teaching some French, maybe starting with some friends, some people that I know, maybe some followers. But like, I'm not going to make it my entire business because I probably can't stand doing it. I'm planning to keep this personal, like just having my own students and working personally with them. And now we're going to talk about Italian. Before talking about my upcoming Italian exam at the very end of the year, I want to talk about how my Italian changed this year while I'm studying here in Italy. If you don't know me, I've been studying political science in Italy since October. I'm going to be quite honest here, I feel like living abroad doesn't drastically change your language skills. Because the only thing that makes my Italian improve here is going to university, attending to lectures, and preparing for the exams. Nothing else. Yeah, outside you can just see the signs, or you can go to a bar and you can say un cappuccino per favore, but that doesn't change anything, you know? I think this just once again proves the importance of immersion in language learning, because I did all of these things as a 16-year-old girl in my room without ever going abroad in French. And right now my French is still better than my Italian. I'm living here since October. But the thing is, I'm still planning to take a C2 exam in Italian. I don't know why I'm doing this. I still don't feel like I have this familiarity with Italian language. Like a C1, I can take it, no problems. But C2, it's something else. And like the funny thing is, in the future, no one is ever going to ask me for a language proof. So there is basically no purpose in me taking an Italian C2 exam. I speak 5 languages fluently if I don't count English. And this year, that's my challenge, to take an exam in all of them. I just don't want to take a C1 exam in the language that I'm living in for the last few months. And I left one of my exams on purpose to autumn to take it again, just because I want to study for it during the summer so I can still maintain this advanced Italian, studying weird things that I don't even study in my native language. But I'm still not sure if I'm going to make some special work for this exam, to be honest, because I checked the exam once again and honestly it looks doable. Like, I checked the Spanish C2 and I just checked the first reading question and I was like, I'm not ever taking a Spanish C2 exam. But the thing with Italian, no, it's quite understandable. So as you can understand from what I told until now, my priorities this summer are going to be Russian and German. But also I'm going to study some Italian, and a lot of you are asking me about Dutch and Swedish. What are you even doing with those languages? Are you still learning them? Do you even remember those languages? And right now I just want to explain everything and I want to talk about them all together, because why not? So as you know, I've been learning Dutch for the last 2 years and Swedish almost a year, but I must admit that Swedish is the language that I'm having like the slowest progress with, because I don't study Swedish. And it has a lot of reasons, but I like the language. Like, it's not like, oh my god, I hate this language, I should never have started learning it. No, I like the language. I love Dutch and Swedish, both of them. I probably have some intermediate Dutch, but beginner Swedish. I've always seen those two languages like a safe zone, and whenever I'm bored of other languages, I just go and study Dutch or Swedish. Because those are like, you don't have to spend a lot of effort to learn them, but you're still learning something, which makes me happy and feel useful. And I can get access to a lot of new things on the internet, I can listen to a lot of new podcasts, I can watch new shows. And a month ago my Swedish friend was here in Milan and we spent a few days together, and most of the time we didn't speak Swedish, we mostly spoke Russian. As a Turkish person, Russian is the language that I can feel the most after my native one. Probably also because of the fact that most of my friends are Russian-speaking people. I probably associate this language with communication and friendship and good things in my head, so. But I also realized that most of the time I was able to say some stuff in Swedish. I would just go and spend some time on my Swedish TikTok, and the thing is, I can actually understand those videos. And I also learned a lot of jokes and stuff that Swedish people make, a lot of trends and music, and this will certainly help me once I'm back to regularly studying the language. And most of the time I watch Swedish shows, mostly with Swedish subtitles, because like I ask my friends what to watch and they recommend me shows that they like. So my plan is to continue with my B2 classes in Dutch. Maybe just, as I said, consume more content in Dutch, because that's something that I'm doing only in Swedish. And for Swedish, I've been using this book since summer and I have not finished it, but I feel like I should update your intermediate book. I feel like in a language like this, I can study something that's higher than my level, because I speak both German and Dutch. So Swedish is like nothing incomprehensible, I just have to learn it. So as you can understand, those are basically my plans with Dutch and Swedish. I don't know if I'll be traveling to Netherlands or Sweden. Sweden, maybe yes. And something else I'd like to announce, and I'd like to ask you guys for your opinions, that I like to make some simple Turkish vlogs. I'll basically start doing when I'm in Istanbul, like showing you guys Istanbul and also speaking some basic Turkish while doing it. But I want to do some sort of research on this and make you some recommendations, but also personally help by making basic Turkish videos. I can just post some stuff here so that you guys can improve your Turkish. I can provide you with English subtitles and maybe also Russian or Spanish for other people that don't speak English quite good, I don't know. If you would be interested in something like this, please write in the comments. If you're learning Turkish, just what's your Turkish level, or would you find this kind of content useful? And that was everything for this video. Hopefully during the summer I will try to prepare some vlogs. Please talk about your summer plans here in the comments. What are you planning to do, and are you going to take any exams? Are you going to travel to your foreign country, and what are your specific plans to accomplish all these goals? And thank you so much. I wish you a lot of success and have a good day. Bye.